The headline from Marsh, friend of the program, he says, national media, after the Florida-Miami game, will be saying that the U is back. Now, you know how we feel about this. If you have watched this show for the better part of the last year or so, a lot of people are very quick to say, well, Texas is back, Texas is not back. Same kind of vibe here, I think, with Miami. In my opinion is the folks that say, they're back. They're this, they're that. Like they're like using the word back, I think, is truly for like the thumbnail crowd. Like it plays well on social media, it plays well on a YouTube video, but like I don't know if back is actually something that ever really you can point to and say, yeah, they're this, they're that. They're back. I think short of winning a national championship, there's always going to be an argument back and forth around Miami being back or not back. Also, I would say for this game, even if Miami wins the game by 100 points, there's always going to be the counterpoint that, well, hey, Florida, they're supposed to win like 5 games this year. Are you really saying you're back after beating them? I know it's in the swamp. That's not what I would say. I'm just telling you that's the counterpoint people would have. Miami Hurricane fans, we have had a lot of y'all subscribe to this channel over the course of the last few weeks. If you have not yet subscribed, would encourage you to do so. Got a lot to talk about this year around your Canes. Cam Ward, Mario Cristobal, and the year 3 of what he's doing out there in Coral Gables. Want y'all a part of this, want y'all subscribed, and we appreciate y'all in advance for doing that and being part of this college football sicko community. So let's throw out the idea of them being back or not back. People will say it, people will not say it, but here's I think the thing to talk about with Miami. What I'm looking for in this game, if I'm trying to get a gauge for Miami's progress, what does this team play like? And that's kind of an obvious thing to say, but I want to make it a little bit more specific. When you watch Miami, do you see the markings of a team that looks like that old Miami, that looks like that old U more specifically? Like, do they dominate the line of scrimmage? Do they have real deal playmakers on the perimeter? Maybe more importantly, when it comes to watching the broadcast, or for those of y'all that are going to be at this game, what's the edge Miami plays with? Because that's kind of the thing with Miami, right? Like, a lot of teams have won at a high level over the course of college football history, but we talk about the U, and the word that we use with them is the swag that they have, the attitude that they have. Like, it's one thing to be good. It's another thing to walk out there, know you're good, play like you're good, and dominate. And quite frankly, I think that's why you brought Mario Cristobal back to Coral Gables, to bring that attitude, to bring that energy, to bring that passion, all things that I believe have marked not just what Miami has been previously, but what the U was. That's the difference now. I don't want to see Miami against Florida. I want to see the U against Florida. Also, I'll say this. We've talked a lot about Cam Ward and what he does throwing the football downfield. You got to have it in this game. But if we're going to even approach the idea of Miami looking how they used to look and being, in the neighborhood of being back, quote unquote, you look to him as the alpha. You look to him as the temperature setter. So it's one of those things now, if we're trying to assess Miami against Florida, I'm not so much looking at how much do they win by. I'm looking at how do they play. Like I said, what's that swagger like? Because I think those Miami teams, they're not going to beat themselves. The teams that go on and compete for conference titles and college football playoff berths, like I expect this Miami team to do, just so we're on the same page, it would be a lot about how do you handle yourself. Are you turning the football over in a raucous environment because it's kind of a big spotlight for you and you're not really sure how to handle yourself? Or is it, no, we know who we are. Doesn't matter if we're playing in the parking lot. Doesn't matter if we're playing in a sold-out swamp. Like, we know what we do. We bring that to the table, and we bring that every single Saturday. That's what I think Miami's aspiring to be. That's, again, why I think you brought Mario Cristobal to the U, because of the culture and the attitude and the swag that he has. And also now, going into year 3, let's be clear, this is the team, as a Miami fan, that you signed up for when he was hired. Like, the talent level, I believe, is night and day different. I think the numbers indicate that. If you look at the actual stats from Miami, the way they've improved in total defense and total offense from year 1 to year 2, and now I think they'll improve in year 3, that's a confident group. It's a very confident group. But how does that translate when you're backed up, it's 3rd and 7 on your own 15-yard line, and the swamp is just absolutely letting you have it, and you're Cam Ward. You're your first time being the quarterback at Miami now. How do you handle that? I'm excited to see it, man. But, again, back for me is something that I think it's a great point here by Marsh, but I think back is something we try and be careful to not lean too deeply into. But back to me if we were to use that verbiage, would look a lot like the culture and play style and attitude from Miami and not just winning. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.